Hey, so are you frustrated by your relationships? Are you frustrated about getting into one or finding the right one that you haven't quite found? Or are you in one and you're so frustrated because you don't know how to resolve conflict? I'm gonna talk about what's actually keeping you from getting the things you want and from creating the relationship you want, and it's not what you think. I'm Ketra Thompson, and I'm a certified master hypnotist and a relationship recovery coach. I help people just really make changes on a subconscious level, on a level that they don't address in any other way. So it's unique, rapid, really just transformational process to creating the life that you want and the connection with yourself that you want so that you can connect with others. So before we jump in this, I just want to remind you, if you're new here, please hit subscribe so you can be notified every time I put a new video out, and click like below if you like this content, if it's at all helpful to you, and I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. So one thing you hear a lot in regard to relationship issues is that it's all about communication, right? It's all about communicating things the right way. Or maybe you hear, well, they just have an anger issue. Or maybe the person just doesn't know how to connect properly. Or it's about repair. There's a lot about that, right? Rupture happens in relationships and repair happens. And it's really important that repair does happen, but that's not the main issue. People tend to focus on how to fix these issues that they're identifying, but they don't get to the root cause of what's actually driving the issue. So it's not so much about these communication issues as it's about the triggers underneath them. When you are triggered with some internal thing, you create an assumption or a reaction, and it happens in a split second. And those assumptions and reactions are not usually accurate. So here's the deal. The subconscious mind is formed from birth through age 7 to 10, and there's things that can influence the subconscious mind after that as well, but there's a big formation period there where the main part of your subconscious mind is being formed. And then you have this protective function around the age 7 to 10 that happens, it gets put in place, and it really locks down your subconscious mind. So all of your beliefs, everything that happened to you, everything that was said to you, you've assigned meaning to it at an early age, and then you've used that meaning to write this blueprint for your subconscious mind. And this can create triggers. Also, ongoing behavior in childhood, if you had a neglectful parent, or even in adulthood, if you had a very long-term emotionally destructive relationship, that can create some belief systems in your subconscious mind as well. All of this can create triggers, because when someone says something or does something that you perceive as any kind of criticism, it can trigger that past belief of whatever you thought about yourself in that moment from a long time ago. And now it's no longer about the person you're dealing with in real life. It's about an old belief that is still very painful. So even if it's not during conflict or perceived criticism, these triggers can exist under the surface, and they can keep you from being connected to your self-worth and your confidence, because there's so much fear around how you're going to be perceived and the assumption that you have to do everything perfect. And so these underneath triggers can keep you from creating the connections that you want. And instead of addressing all of the how-to tips on the outside, we really need to get to the root cause of the triggers on a subconscious level. That's where we can reframe, and that's where we can change your perception of yourself and others, and a belief system that wasn't necessarily accurate when it was created. So just think about this for a minute. Here you are trying to find the one, trying to be connected in life, wanting your person, and all you can do is get hung up on the anxiety of all the what ifs and the perfectionistic mindset that you were programmed to have, and it's keeping you from what you want. And if you're in a relationship with someone, then you're in a similar boat if you aren't able to connect with the person on a deep, meaningful level and really be yourself. That is also a subconscious issue that needs to be addressed on a subconscious level. So the real issue here is that whether you're in a relationship or not, if you want deep connection with another person, you have got to address your triggers on a subconscious level. You have to do that so you can actually connect to your deepest sense of self-worth, your real confidence underneath all of those fears, because those aren't the real you. That anxiety isn't the real you. And until you deal with that, you aren't going to be able to connect from a place of calm confidence that creates a sense of ease about your connections. So seriously, getting your shit together in the relationship world starts on the inside first, and then it moves to the outside of you. So you can get all the tips and tricks about how to dress or how to look, but honestly, they aren't going to get you that far unless you deal with the root issue. Because creating self-confidence on a deep subconscious level actually creates freedom for you, where you're free to just be you. It creates this really free, open, happy personality, right? Where you don't have to fear the other person's rejection or what they think of you, because you are solid. You are grounded in yourself and your own confidence. This allows you to not necessarily take the criticisms of others so personally, because you've done the work at that point when you have addressed these on a subconscious level. And that's why I've created a custom program just for men. It's my opinion that men are suffering. They don't typically reach out for the same kind of mental health support that women do, because they simply aren't that many options for them that are just for them. So I've created a program because I've been seeing this happen in my practice lately. Lots and lots of men are coming to me with this issue that maybe presents as anxiety or social anxiety, but underneath it, it's a deep longing for connection with either the person they're already with or being able to find the person that they want to have in their life, and there's this barrier keeping them from being their authentic selves. So once I'm able to really address their subconscious issues and what those limiting beliefs are on a subconscious level, then I can move into coaching so that you can have all of the great advice of how to do this and that in a very specific way. But first, we really have to deal with what's going on underneath, or else everything else is just like makeup on a pig, right? It's just kind of masking an issue. The reality is the issue is deeper. So the fact is, we aren't meant to conquer everything on our own. We need each other, and that is part of why I love what I do. I love helping people get to where they want to be in life. And I also want to give you a couple practical tips that you can use today to start this journey, because it truly is a journey. And what I do just helps people propel themselves on that journey in a rapid way so they can actually gain some traction very quickly. So it's important to remember that connecting to your own self-worth, your own confidence on a subconscious level is the powerhouse of what's going to drive the change, because your subconscious mind controls over 95% of everything you think, everything you feel, and everything you do. So starting there just makes sense. This kind of work actually allows you to live your most authentic life, to get the most out of your life, to be yourself, to be openly yourself with the world, so that you can actually drop the mask and find happiness and connection. So we've established that addressing these on a subconscious level is really foundational to making this huge transformation. But there are also some things you can do right now. So one thing you can do today is start taking an inventory of what you want in your life that you don't have. What do you want in a relationship that you don't have? Not just a relationship. What do you want that relationship to give you? How do you want to feel in that relationship? What kind of support do you want? How do you want to be mutual and reciprocal in that relationship? And what does it feel like when that happens? Tuning into what that feels like is really important, because we need to know how we want to feel if we are to know when we arrive and when we get get to the place that we're actually striving to get to. Knowing what you want can help you create action steps. It can help you get some clarity so you know where to start. And the other thing you can do is you can start stepping out of your comfort zone. Stepping out of your comfort zone teaches your brain that you can do something different, that you can do something new. And it actually builds your confidence every time you step out of your comfort zone. And I'm not talking about some huge leap. I'm talking about small steps that get you into situations that you might not normally be in, maybe places you might not normally be in, and just gently stepping you out of that comfort zone so that you can prove to yourself and your brain that it is okay to change, that it's safe to change, and that you are more than capable of creating that change. And when you're ready to really take your life back and create that lasting change on a subconscious level and just get this healing journey going and actually create momentum so that you're not just crawling along at a snail's pace, set up that consultation call. The link is in the description below. You won't regret it. It's totally free, and it will help you get the clarity you need to know if this is the right path for you and if we are a good fit to work together. I also want to mention that in the link below there is a link to download a free relaxation recording. It's not like a custom session, but that relaxation recording will help you start calming your nervous system and getting the relaxation that you need when you need it throughout the day. So check out that link. It's totally free. And I want to remind you, when you change yourself, you actually change the world. You change how everyone in your world interacts with you. You change your energy and you shift the dynamic of how those interactions play out. So it's worth looking into because you don't have to stay on the path that you've been on forever. You can make the change and you can be proactive about it today. I hope you find all the love, all the connection, all the support that you need in whatever journey you're on. And until next time, curate a life by your own design.